Hi everyone, welcome to the course, and today we will be starting with a synchronous function. Till now whatever we covered was the synchronous part of the JavaScript. That means it will get executed one by one. That means if I have written two functions all together, one on top and one on below of the first one, so the first one will get executed first, then second one will get executed. For example, I'm just doing a console dot to log over here, executed as instantly. Okay, and let's suppose I created a function uh, execute code. Okay, and in this thing I'm writing console dot log executed a function. So I am calling this function executed code. Okay, now let's see when I'm running this function, what is printed. First of all, executed instantly, the first line got printed. After that, I used executed a function because the second thing was my function. So let's suppose if I copied this thing and from top to below I added this and I will run this, my first function will get execute and then my this line will get execute. It does not matter I have written above and below, it will get executed in sequence only. So let's take an example. If I am running a function which will take few seconds because it has some number of operations to perform, right? But until and unless this function is not done with all the operations, is not executed, this particular line will not be able to execute. That is why it will create a delay in the code. This particular thing will complete its task, then only it will be able to execute it. So this is known as synchronous, that it will go in sync only. But we have a concept called asynchronous in JavaScript. That means I can run my two functions parallelly. For example, let's suppose that I've created a function which will take 2 seconds to execute, and I have created another function which will take 5 seconds to execute. So the function which is taking 2 seconds will get executed first, and the function which is taking 5 seconds will execute later. So these both the functions will start the operations at the same time, but it will take its own time, that is 2 seconds, and this function will take its own second, that is 5 seconds. So these both the functions are working in parallel without distracting each other. Okay, so what will happen, your time will get saved, another function will not have to wait for another function, so that it gets executed first, then it will execute. Okay, so this is why we use asynchronous. Let's say how we can make things asynchronously. Or let's suppose in asynchronous we have something called SetTimeout method and SetInterval method. These are two methods which is known as asynchronous method. Now let's see how. For example, let this code be written only. What do I want to do is set time out. There is a method called set time out which takes an arrow function as an callback, and in these things what I have to do, let's suppose I did console.log executed after 2 seconds. So how much time it is going to take? It will take 2 seconds. Okay, and this I don't need to call it, but what I will do, I will just put 2 seconds. Okay, so in this methods we always take seconds in terms of thousand. So 1 second is equals to 1000 milliseconds, so you have to put 1000 over here. Okay, so if I want to consider it 2 seconds, I have to make 2000. So now let's run this code. This is the syntax of the set timeout. Set timeout means that it will execute the code at least once and it will stop. It will execute the code only one time and it will stop the cycle. Now let's see. Now think, give me the answer that which one will get executed first. Suppose do this. Function got executed first and after 2 seconds this got executed. But now think, this both the functions started at the same time, but this will take its whole of 2 seconds, but this will get executed instantly. Got my point? Now if I'll just remove this and I'll make another set timeout, then it will be more understandable to you. Now let's see. My this function is saying executing after 3 seconds. Okay, so now let's see 3 seconds. So this function will take one more extra seconds as compared to this. These both the function will start execution at the same time. Okay, the time it will get execute is 2 seconds, but till the time it's 3 seconds, it's when it is executed, it's 2 seconds is already covered because it got executed on 2 seconds. So it will take one more extra seconds to get execute. Now see, if I'm running it, see, it will take 2 seconds and it will execute. Okay, so it took its whole of 2 seconds and it took one extra seconds and got executed. This is how your asynchronicity work. I hope you are understanding it. So even if I'll copy this code from here and I'll put it at the top, still the execution will be same. See, first 2 seconds, first 2 seconds will run, and then after that 3 seconds one will run. So this is how your set timeout works. It will execute the code only once after some specific time interval. Okay, now there is something called SetInterval. Now what is the example of this thing? Is the data fetching. Okay, whenever we fetch the data from somewhere, let's suppose whenever we want to fetch a data, we always given with an API. API contains some JSON format data. Okay, and that data we need to fetch so that we can use it for our code, for our website. So for that thing, whenever we want to fetch the data, it will automatically take some few seconds because that API might contain lot of data. For example, it can be 5,000 data. So 5,000 data will take some time to get rendered, okay, to get fetched. So till the time we can put set time out so that my whole of the code will not get disrupted. Okay, that will run, but my data will load at the same time by taking its own time. Okay, so and now I'll just say data is fetching. Okay, data is fetching. Okay, so see, it will take 2 seconds and when the data is fetched, it will get executed. Now there is something called set interval. Okay, now set interval is a little different from your set timeout. How? Syntax is same, but just see what is the difference. I'll just say console.log executed after 1 seconds interval. Okay, and I want to put it 2 seconds. Let's suppose 1 second will be very less, so let's take 2 seconds. So this is a set interval. Now let's see, I'm just clearing this out and I'm running it, and I'll run this. We will see that it got executed first time after 2 seconds, then after 2 seconds, then after 2 seconds, then after 2 seconds, and it will keep on executing until and unless I will not stop it, because the set interval will complete its cycle after 2 seconds. When 2 seconds is completed, it will stop its cycle and again it will start from 2 seconds again. So it will keep on running as it is running right now. So I need to stop it. So there is something called clear interval method. So this clear interval is specifically to clear the interval. Now let's suppose I need to store it somewhere. Where? Let's suppose const timer equals to this, and I want to stop this timer. I did clear interval. Now if I'll delete it and if I'll run it, you will see this function is not executing anything because I did some mistake over here. Before executing this interval, I cleared the interval. Are you getting my point? On 2 seconds, it should execute this code, but as soon as its time is complete, I am clearing this interval. So it is not able to execute its operation. So what do I need to do? I will not specify it like this. Let's suppose I want let timer is equals to 0. Okay. And I said let timer id is equals to set interval, and I wrote it like I want to increment the timer. Okay, so my timer will be incremented, but I want if timer is equals to 5, or let's suppose 6, I want to clear the interval. That means now I want to call my clear interval in which I will put my timer ID. I want to clear this thing out. Okay, so what I will do is what I will do is see, I want to, otherwise it will console it, else console.log timer. Okay, so this is done now. Now one more thing is this. Now let's run this. I will tell you what it is. Clear this out and execute it. Now see, as soon as the timer is getting equals to 6, it is stopping my timer. But now let's just not put this thing like this. I want to put it now. So if this condition will satisfy, then this will stop. So let's suppose if I did this thing, instead of putting it inner, I put this outer. So it will execute 2. It will execute 0 because this a timer function will take this value and it will execute. It will not print anything after satisfying this condition. So I hope you are getting it. So this is how your interval works. That you want to execute this particular function at least 5 times. See, you want as soon as this timer count becomes 6, it should stop. It should clear the interval. So that is why it is printing this 5 times, but it is not printing this 6th time. Just give me a moment. Clear this out and run it. So see, it will execute first time. Okay, this condition is not true, so it will execute another time. Okay, by incrementing the time. Then third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time it will see, yeah, it is matching, so it will clear the interval. So this is how your set interval works. That it will take some time to execute the things in some intervals. Or let's suppose here you have not added the time, okay, but now you want to edit some time. What do you want? You want to put 2 seconds. Okay, I hope that was understandable. Now let's add time, because we didn't add any time, so it was executing instantly. But now I want to execute it after some time, because if I'm not using time over here, this function is of no use. So now let's run this. Um, Wait, let's not put this thing here. Timer, it's saying timer is not defined, so we'll define as inside. If we'll say again, see, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will stop execution. Can you just see that is taking its 2 minutes? Okay, see, it started the first interval, the first cycle was when the timer was 0. It executed 0. Then it will take 2 seconds again to execute 1. Then again it will take 2 seconds to execute 2. So this is how your set interval works. Now let's suppose I entered over here set timeout. So set timeout does not need any clear interval, because it always executes one time. Now see, if I'm executing my set timeout, see, it executed 0 and it stopped, because set timeout executes the code only one time. Okay, so this is the difference between your set timeout and set interval. I showed you an example of timer in terms of set interval, that how you can stop the timer after some specific time. So you might have seen the counter of the time which goes on and on in the website, and after specific time it gets off. For an example, if the website is putting some kind of sale, so sale will remain for some time, so it will automatically stop the sale after some specific time. So this is the one of the example of your set interval. I hope you have understood the topic well. Thank you so much, everyone.